The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
And good afternoon, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kay, and it is time for our daily noon forecast. Let's jump right into our headlines. Well, before I forget, we got to thank our sponsors. We have the C3 Group as well as Merlin Law Group and Balance Claims. Okay, now we can get into the headlines. So we do have a chance for hail today from a pretty decent sized area from Minneapolis down to Wichita, and then tomorrow the threat does move on to the east-southeast, so Little Rock, you can see some hail tomorrow. And then once again, I said this yesterday, thank you guys for those who have voted for us for Vendor of the Year. We did win that award at the Win the Storm conference. We really appreciate all of the support that we as always have been getting, so thanks again for that. So I just want to take a quick look at the reports that came in from yesterday's activity. Minneapolis, we did have some activity just to the west of the city, and then we had some other reports come in for parts of Wisconsin, as well as a few in southeast South Dakota, and a few lonely reports in Nebraska. I believe we had 32 hail reports yesterday. So taking a look at our current conditions, we do have a good amount of rain covering central South Dakota and a little bit of activity in eastern Kansas and Nebraska getting into Iowa. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on right now. And in terms of temperatures, I'm still getting used to the timing on these things here. There we go. These are current temperatures right now. Relatively warm across most of the United States. It is a bit cooler, just a little bit in the northwestern part of the country. Portland, you're the cool spot right now at 46, as well as in the mountainous regions, 50 in Denver, 66 in Wichita, 76 in Dallas, and a lot of 70s across most of the eastern part of the U.S. And the dew points, it's a little bit sticky. Could be a bit worse though, 62 in Dallas for your dew point and 60 in Wichita. So what's going on in the area that we'll be keeping an eye on later on this afternoon, evening? Well, like I just said, a few showers in eastern Nebraska and into Kansas, more showers and storms in South Dakota. So this is the area that we'll be watching for hail today. Minneapolis, we have a low chance to see some hail up to $half size. Omaha as well. I think the best chance to see hail today and into tonight will be from Salina down south to maybe as far south as Wichita. I do think the strongest activity is going to stay just to the north of Wichita, hence why I have Salina under that moderate chance to see up to golf ball size hail again later on this evening. Into later on tonight. Taking a bit of a more detailed look at Salina, Kansas, almost said Texas, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. is the storm timeline for you guys. I think there's a moderate chance to see up to golf ball size hail, and decent chance of again to see above 1 inch hail. And I think the chances as of right now to see anything larger than golf ball size hail is on the low end, and we'll kind of get to why in just a second. The winds, I think, up to 60 miles per hour, again from Minneapolis down south to Omaha and into Kansas, and as far south as northeastern Oklahoma. Again, I think the chances here are going to be a lot lower. Central Kansas is going to be the place to be. So cross your fingers. Maybe if you're a roofer in Salina, that's probably the best chance for it today. So taking a look at the future radar, again, a lot of shower and storm activity in South Dakota. Nothing severe though. And then as we get into later on this afternoon, this is at 3:30 p.m., we will see some possible development of some stronger storms entering in Minneapolis. Again, I think up to $0.5 size hail is possible. And then as we continue on to 5:30, those storms go through Minneapolis to the northeast, and we're starting to see some development starting to form in Nebraska and into Kansas. Moving forward to 8 p.m., more storm development is going to develop, and we got to watch southeastern or central Kansas. I think a lot of this is going to be elevated in nature. We will have a cap in place, so that's going to hinder that hail as well as, or how big it's going to get, and it looks like it may become more of a wind threat as well as we get later on into the evening. So if those storms do stay isolated, we could see some severe hail going on in central Kansas. Moving on through the overnight hours, that activity will move on to the east. Kansas City, you may have a small chance to see some maybe $0.25 to $0.5 size hail. It depends though on what goes on with that storm mode and if they stay isolated or if they line out and fall apart. So this is our Cape. You can see we do have a good amount of instability from Kansas down south, and you may be wondering, well, how about here in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, down south into Texas? There's a good amount of instability, right, going forward in time. And I'll get to why in just a second, why nothing's going to happen, but more instability will continue on through the evening. Any storms that do break the cap will potentially produce that large hail. And then getting into later on into the evening, the instability starts to drop off a little bit. So I mentioned there is going to be a cap in place. So that's going to be around through the afternoon and evening hours. It starts to break a little bit here just to north of Wichita. That cap, though, is still going to be in place in western Oklahoma down south into Texas. So that's why, even though there's a lot of instability, that cap is there. So storm development is not expected, and it just builds right back in as we get into later on into the evening and into the overnight hours. And you can see that the cap being in place, and the storms that do develop, they're going to be elevated again. So that's going to limit the amount of, or the hail as well as how big it gets. So getting into tomorrow, the hail is going to be moving on to the east-southeast. I think the best chance for hail tomorrow is going to be in Little Rock as well as in Shreveport, Louisiana, but the chances of hail will go as far north as Des Moines, Iowa. So this is where we're going to be watching for hail tomorrow, and then pretty much the same deal for the winds up to 60, maybe 70 mile per hour winds will be possible from Des Moines down south, St. Louis, Little Rock, Shreveport, maybe as far east as Birmingham. And taking a look at our future HRRR model here, it looks like as we get into tomorrow afternoon, storm development will once again flare up from just south of Des Moines into central Missouri, down south into Arkansas and Louisiana. We get forward into the later evening hours, those storms will continue to develop, and it looks like as we get later on into the evening, things will start to line out a bit. the wind chances will increase and the hail threat will decrease, and it looks like that will continue on into the overnight hours as well. So there are a few days after this where we're going to be watching. This is Thursday's risk. There is a chance for severe weather from Louisiana to Mississippi to Alabama. And then as we get into Friday, this is a very kind of big question mark. We have to watch this very carefully. The models are kind of back and forth on this, but there is a chance if we can get the moisture to return. If there could be a chance to see severe weather from maybe Oklahoma City down to Dallas and Houston eastward into Louisiana. So we got to watch this. This is not set in stone. It all depends on what happens with this system and what happens with the return flow. So it's something to watch. Don't get all your hopes up, you guys. Cross your fingers. Maybe this could happen. Maybe nothing will happen at all. So I believe that is all. Oh, wait, no, we got to look at the GFS. This is the last thing, I promise. So this is what's going to be going on for the next few days. We have the upper level low that's going to be moving on to the east. And as we get into the next few days, it's going to move on to the east and then kind of break down a bit. And as we get into, let's see, this is 3 days from now, so this is Friday. That system's going to move on to the north, and we may have to watch the south. Again, cross your fingers. It's not set in stone, you guys. I want to keep saying that. It's not like, oh, we are for sure it's happening. So, yeah, do some hail dances. Maybe we can actually get something to happen. So that's all I have for you today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube if you have not done so yet. If you have any questions, concerns, or if you just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com, where we have more information about the products. We have some bios about all of us, so check all that out as well. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.